Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock, joined by John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Good to see you as always.
Good to be here, thank you.
Let's get this out of the way quick and
Okay.
early here. You were prolific in your tweeting about the Razorbacks this weekend.
Well, good.
I think you're angling for the sports information department job.
That's
up
a
there.
job I would not want.
You don't want that?
No. Plus, I don't think my attitude is right for promoting the program.
How do you promote a program that's won 4 games in 2 years?
Well, people are managing to do it somehow. Just stay the course, some are saying. The young quarterback is going to be great, the receivers are great, and you got to be optimistic. It's one part of the illness of alcoholism, misplaced excitement.
Basketball season's about to start,
yeah,
John. We got to get enthusiastic about basketball
It
season.
may be good. It'll certainly be good in comparison. And I think this new coach comes here with a few more credentials of success at the top level than Morris did. And I also think the basketball coach, I haven't heard him talk about how he's going to get us over in the left lane and put the hammer down and all that hype, which turns out to just be laughable. So, and basketball is more fun.
When we get closer to basketball season, which it's about to start, but just when we get a little bit past the end of football season, let's create another bet for you.
You mean the one
to
about
potentially
dancing?
dance or something?
Well, we can, as long as you
basketball.
understand that I'm going to renege if I lose the bet. Because even if they beat Western Kentucky, even if they beat LSU,
you're not dancing.
I ain't dancing. Now, I'm gaslighting you on that. I never said I would dance.
I'm going to make you club dub if they beat LSU. I'm going to put that.
Do you know that speaking of not dancing, Chad has only danced that one time. I think that was a jinx. When they had that win, he shouldn't have danced.
Maybe they should dance in loss.
Do you think he would dance now if they accidentally won one, like this weekend? Do you think he will dance? It would look sort of silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on beyond Razorbacks, and let's move into filing period for political candidates. Opens Monday, November 4th here, and runs for a little over a week. How many presidential candidates? Do you think we will see a lot of presidential candidates file to run in Arkansas for this Super Tuesday that will come up on March 3rd next year? Or do you think that we'll know who's really got long-term ambition by the fact that a few of them will not file in Arkansas?
Well, that's a fascinating question, and I've just been giving it some fresh thought when you asked it. But filing now, it's not a matter of how much attrition has happened by March. It's whether you think you need to get ready to compete in Arkansas. So it's a dead giveaway, isn't it, as to your seriousness? So I have no idea. I think there'll only be a half dozen candidates still really standing by then.
Yeah.
And I think about 4 or 3 of those will not be standing very strongly. Biden, Warren, Bernie's going to be there, Buttigieg, maybe Kamala and Klobuchar hang around, maybe, depending on what happens along the way, maybe not.
You're not on the Yang gang, is what you're telling me.
Well, he's kind of a sleeper to get to surprise, but not to, and he might still be there. He's got a lot of money and he seems to be enjoying himself. But it's interesting. I mean, which of these still 20 plus candidacies on the Democratic side remember, bother, know to come down to Arkansas and file? You know, it'll be interesting to watch. If Delaney's campaign comes in and files, I will be impressed. Is that his name, Delaney?
I think he's one of them,
yeah.
John Delaney.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's go with, we got a couple other things that we're watching on candidate filing. You got the U.S. Senate race, you got the congressional races, and you've got obviously your 118-ish for the legislature, I think, half the Senate and all of the House. What piques your, and the Supreme Court race, what piques your interest the most from all of those candidate filing possibilities?
Well,
I know it's like asking you to pick your favorite child or puppy, but I'm just saying.
If I had to pick one that interests me most, I would want to say the Supreme Court, because that's important and there's an interesting angle there that maybe we'll talk about even if I don't pick it.
Okay.
We'll
come back to that one, yes.
But legislative races don't interest me much because Republicans win everywhere anymore.
You think they'd knock off some of these incumbent Democrats down in South Arkansas?
Well, that's a whole different question, but yeah, there are a couple of Democratic legislators from South Arkansas where there are no Democratic voters left that I can identify, white rural conservatives who have gone totally Trump. Leanne Birch in Monticello, and Representative, and
Eddie
Eddie
Cheatham,
Cheatham.
and Bruce Mallock's got a Republican opponent now too, down in Southwest Arkansas.
I did not know that.
Yeah, just this morning.
I knew about those two. That's three. Any Democrat running right now in south of Pulaski County, Grant County line, in the timber country in Southwest, it's problematic. And those are three fine Democratic legislators who bring a lot to the table, bring a lot to the minority caucus, but that will be interesting to watch. The one that interests me most, and then I'll just get this out of the way, maybe we get to other issues. I thought maybe the best new legislator, if not the best legislator entirely, of the last session was a freshman from Springdale, a woman, Megan Godfrey. Now, Nicole Clowney was also very good, and there are others who are good, but she represented something that I found encouraging. She ran in a demographically evolving area of a typical Republican hotbed, that is Springdale and surrounding environs, which is strongly immigrant, strongly Hispanic. She is an English as second language official in Fayetteville schools. She's very personable. She's young. She speaks fluent Spanish. She's got a lot of energy, and she won that race against a Republican incumbent by 30 votes.
Yeah, very
30
close.
votes. She comes down here, and of course she beats her head against the wall, as the Democrats will, except in service to the interests of that constituency that helped elect her, she got interested in this issue of how DACA people, dreamers, children brought here by their parents illegally, but who had, through no fault of their own, that they could go to the School of Nursing and get qualified for nursing, but they were not allowed to participate in the licensing procedure and win licensure as nurses. And she got onto that issue, and in the course of it, she got Republicans to say, yeah, they didn't do anything wrong themselves. We need nursing. We need bilingual nursing. We still want Trump to have his wall. We still don't want any sanctuary cities, but maybe this is something that we could do.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of bipartisanship, pragmatic progressivism done in a bipartisan way. Very impressed with it. So now, all of that is to say, 20-year-old Jedediah Duggar, 10th or 11th of the Duggar 19, is going to run against her. And he's going to run against her simply spouting the Republican conservative talking points. I'm for the NRA, I'm for the unborn child. And he thinks that he can erase that 30-point deficit. I'm just fascinated to watch that.
That'll be an interesting microcosm.
It will be, yes.
So.
Will those voters choose a pragmatic progressivism, or will they revert to the standard Republican formula? And that'll be interesting to watch.
Administrative law judge, former prosecutor, wife of Republican Party of Arkansas Chairman Doyle Webb, his wife Barbara Webb, announcing that she's going to run for the Supreme Court. Pulaski County Judge Chip Welch already jumped into that race right there. We don't even know what Joe Hart, the incumbent, may do, although
we think we do
that
by
she
Webb's
would
entry. I would
retire
think,
there.
yeah.
What? How does that race line up for you?
Well,
it's an independent race.
Roby, one of the biggest frauds perpetrated on us in an era of great fraud in our politics and in the things we give lip service to is the idea of a nonpartisan Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is dominated by people of Republican leanings already who got elected by virtue of financial help, dark money from conservative groups attacking their opponents. That's how we've got several of those candidates. I think we got highly partisan former state senator Sean Womack on the Supreme Court now. I think 3 or 4 others, a couple of whom are essentially known Republicans. Barbara Webb is the most brazen, and not to judge her by her husband, but she is running for the Supreme Court, a nonpartisan position, and she is a known Republican, and she is married, lives with, shares home with the state Republican Party chairman. So this is a whole new level of breaking down that false, that facade of an independent judiciary. This would move part of the Arkansas Supreme Court inside Republican Party headquarters down on Capitol Avenue. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes and whether it bothers the people at all and whether it bothers the Bar Association at all.
Republican Party headquarters on 6th Street, not Capitol Avenue. But
Well,
just a
I
minor
missed it
point
by
of
a block, but
correction
thank
there.
you.
All
That's,
right.
okay.
All right, we got to wrap it up here.
What?
Well,
I'm just getting started.
I know, but
Okay.
there's just so much time for
Okay.
us to get
Well,
moving on
good,
some
good.
stuff right there. President Trump did get an impeachment inquiry opened up on
He
him
did.
last
That
week.
happened.
But we were expecting that, and we'll talk about that if there's any motion on that this week. I don't think that there's going to be tremendous
I
amounts
think
of
we're
it.
going to stay in private interviews for a while. When it goes public, it becomes a nationwide TV show. That's when we're going to see the level of how it plays.
He's John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Always good to visit with you.
Thank you, my man.
All right. That's all for today's program. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.